Hey, it's Matt Pinfield. Joining me now are Brian, Stefan, and Steve from Placebo. Welcome to the show, guys. Good to have you here, visiting us on your second album. The new album's called Without You, I'm Nothing. It's an excellent record. It's one of my favorite records out right now, without a question. Now, Steve, you're new in the band, right? Tell me a bit about, with Steve joining the band, you're from Manchester, right?
That's right.
You're from, how did that change the sound for you guys? Did it really change anything? I mean, how did you actually end up...
Well, I say new. I've been in the band 2 years.
Right.
It's kind of... it's just sort of flown by. But it's kind of... I don't know. It's kind of... It's made it less frantic and more sort of... more groovy, more comfortable, I think.
I think Steve's brought a certain kind of like... a real groove factor to the band and a kind of a certain blackness. And he's also brought kind of like friendship to the band. We were sort of a band that really didn't sort of get on very well in its first incarnation. And, you know, Steve's brought a real feeling of unity, you know, and we finally sort of become a bit of a family about the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, it's brought a lot of that. I think, yeah, it's less frantic, less urgent, and probably more confident and larger and more versatile. Basically, we can do more now.
You talk about the groove factor, you definitely have it in this record, I mean, without a question. So really interesting, a lot of good drum stuff going on there. Let's take a look at the first video. Speaking of groove, it's a great song. It's called Pure Morning from Without You, I'm Nothing. Check out Placebo on 120 Minutes tonight.
Shoulders, toes, and knees. I'm 36 degrees. Shoulders, toes, and knees. I'm 36 degrees. Shoulders, toes, and knees. 36 degrees.
Welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield, hanging out with Brian, Stefan, and Steve from Placebo. Now, you're actually from all different parts of the world.
Yeah. Yes.
And we talked about Manchester, of course. Now, Stefan, where are you from originally?
From Sweden.
Right. What part, actually?
I'm from Gothenburg on the west coast.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Brian, you're American originally.
Yeah, but I was born and spent all of my life growing up in Europe, basically, so I'm kind of a professional expat.
Right. Now, where in America were you from?
New York. Yeah, that's where my brother was born here, and it's kind of when my parents met and got married and everything, you know, so...
And how did you come together as a band? I mean, and actually perform in London? Was that where
Well, we went to school together in Europe a long time ago, but we were never friends. We were kind of, we never spoke to each other.
Chalk and cheese.
Yeah, we just kind of bumped into each other one day in a subway station about 5 years ago, completely by accident. That was kind of the day that our lives changed. And I've known Steve for a long time, and he's been in a lot of bands, and he couldn't sort of play on a regular basis for us the first time round. We had to kind of wait until we had more money in order to steal him.
Where were you, Steve? What bands were you in at the time?
Many bands. I used to do session work and things. Just been the Boo Radleys, K-Class, Breed.
Did you play on like Lazarus or things like that?
Did the first album, did the first couple of EPs.
I see.
Sort of do the usual thing, get signed, get a deal, and then leave.
Except we're never letting him leave now.
Right, I've heard you say that they're like, you know, it's like two husbands, it's like a family, it's a marriage of friends now.
Yeah, it's kind of daddy, mommy, and baby. You know?
Pick me up from the floor.
Yeah.
There's still lots more to talk about with the guys from Placebo, so don't go anywhere. Now, the new album, Without You, I'm Nothing, has some great songs on it, without a question. And like, just a feel, there's a lot of layering in the recording of the record. Sonically, it's really interesting. Pure Morning, of course, is a great track. Now, that actually came up, was that the last song recorded from the album? I heard it was,
yeah.
You went in to do B-sides, and that came out of it?
That's right, it's true.
Yeah, we'd already delivered the album, everything was finished, so I guess sort of we felt that the pressure was off, and we were just going into the studio to have a laugh, to have a good time. And we found this sort of a new spontaneous way of working, really, and sort of pure... You walk into the studio with like one guitar loop, and then by the end of the day, you've just layered it until you have a song, and you just had no idea where it was going to go, and that's kind of how Pure Morning happened.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a pressureless situation, which is kind of, I guess, why it's kind of so celebratory and you know, quite up.
Yeah, and then there's a brick shade house. That's the way I have to pronounce it. You know, you do like put an English twist on that for censorship, for you know, for reasons that are obvious. And there's a thing in there about you love put me in the ground, that lyric. And
yeah, it's kind of a ghost story. It's sort of if you can imagine in England, the phrase brick house comes from the old days when sort of toilets were outside.
Right.
And sort of if you say somebody's built like a brick house, they're sort of usually quite muscly and big, but
Like
a bit thick.
People even say that in
kind of
America, believe it or not. They
yeah?
do. Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
And it was just kind of this idea of somebody who'd been murdered and is watching his lover make love to the person who murdered him.
Wow.
It's basically the kind of the thing that's going on in that song.
Wow. And even You Don't Care About Us, which is your latest single in England, it's a great track, fast track, and it's just that your age, my rage. About that phrase.
It's sort of, I think on the record there's a lot of kind of relationship songs. It kind of sounds a bit corny, but we just kind of felt ourselves being pulled in like this real romantic direction, and sort of, so I guess sort of lyrically there's a lot of kind of self-analysis as to kind of like why myself personally I seem to have messed up every kind of like relationship I've been in. I guess I'm kind of washing my dirty laundry in public a bit,
right.
But it's okay. It's just kind of, it's just examining the impossibility of togetherness.
Yeah, and I think everybody can relate to that because everybody's been in relationships that they've ruined or seen gone sour for a reason or another. We still have more to talk about with Placebo in 120 minutes. Welcome back to 120 Minutes. I'm Matt Pinfield, and I'm still here with Brian, Stefan, and Steve from Placebo. Steve Osborne produced this record for you guys now. He's worked with U2. He worked on the classic Happy Mondays, Pills, Thrills, and Bellyaches. Speaking of being from Manchester. Were you fans of his work before?
Well, I think what we wanted to work with somebody who had like a foot in the dance camp and a foot in the rock camp kind of thing. So that was sort of, I guess, the impetus for Steve Osborne. He really presented himself to us and sort of said, I really, really want to do this. And kind of at that time we didn't have very many options. So we wanted to work with somebody who was English to kind of like to try and get something that was modern out of the sounds.
Right. Well, there are a lot of great sounds on there. I mean, songs like Scared of Girls. I mean, there's just a lot of great dynamic on that. And Every Me, Every You is a great song, probably maybe a future single even, right?
Yes, it's the next single in England, so it could happen over here as well.
That makes sense. Now, you
Just
played
remixed it.
Oh,
so
you did?
It's kind of better than the album version now.
Very cool. Look forward to hearing it. Now, you did Bowie's 50th birthday party. You were about to do that. That was a fun time, right? And also...
Yeah, mate.
Just imagine it.
I saw some great pictures of you and Dave Grohl and all those guys hanging out just going crazy.
Yeah, we met all of our heroes. I met Sonic Youth, which was just an amazing thing for me. And sort of like Bowie introduced me to Lou Reed, and you met Prince.
Yeah,
and it was just
Frank Snyder and people like that.
Yeah, it was a really crazy night. I'll never ever forget it.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Bowie, Velvet Goldmine, you were invited by Michael Stipe to be a part of that film. Eddie Izzard, of course, involved too, the English comedian. Tell me about how that happened, and did you enjoy playing the glam rockers? I mean, obviously there were a lot of great records made in that era. Roxy, Bowie, T-Rex, Model, all that stuff. Lou Reed.
All the stuff you grew up with.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So was it a cool thing to kind of be thrown back into that time?
It was fun. I mean, we're kind of the comedy element in the film. We're sort of we're so ridiculous and so camp. That
London version of the New York Dolls, almost,
Yeah. So it's it was a big laugh, but sort of making films, I think, it sort of becomes sort of a bit like an extended video shoot,
Yeah.
And
they can be long.
There's a lot of hanging around, but at least in Velvet Goldmine, you're hanging around in platforms.
Right. So it was a different experience.
Yeah, but in Brixton.
Yeah, platforms in Brixton, yeah.
Brixton Academy.
Yeah, we managed not to get beat up. It was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Now, you're going to be touring then. So tour's coming up in maybe December, January?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of Christmas radio shows, and we'll be doing one in New York as well, and then we'll be back in the new year.
Excellent.
Sort of proper live tour. So.
Excellent. We look forward to seeing you. But thanks for coming by.
Pleasure.
If you haven't already, be sure to pick up Placebo's new album, Without You I'm Nothing. It's an excellent record, as well as their 1996 self-titled debut. Right now we're going to see a video from that self-titled debut. It's called Nancy Boy from Placebo in 120 Minutes. Great to have you guys.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Cool.